You're listening to Blast Podcasting, episode 27.
And we're back.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. 7 months later to another episode of Blast Podcasting. I'm Xander.
And I'm Anthony.
And yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it, Anthony?
Yeah, it's been a long time. This has happened. See, for those that are watching the YouTube feed. This is something we haven't done before. This is kind of a new experiment. Hopefully everything works well. If it doesn't and you're just listening to this audio format, I do apologize. But we are recording this as a video podcast for our YouTube feed. And yeah, it's been a while since we've done a podcast. It's been a while since I've done a podcast personally. I've just been so busy with new life things that's been going on in the last couple of months. Yeah, all very, very good things. And man, since the last time we did an episode, Anthony, the last episode, I didn't go back and listen to it, but I did see that we were talking about in the last episode, we were talking about the trailer for The Batman, which has just officially wrapped up. It's still got a set date for 2022, which seems like light years away from now, but as fast as time goes by, it'll be here before we know it. Yeah.
But one of the things we wanted to talk about two movies, definitely. We were going to talk a little bit about Justice League, the Snyder CUT, and also Godzilla Vs Kong. Now, before we get into this, Anthony, what have you been up to, man? Let's do a little bit of catch up here.
Holy shit. Well, I'm just hanging out. Things are good on my end, you know. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with, you know what? I've been making some, ever since the last podcast, I did a couple of reviews, and I think I'm going to continue that on my channel, but I just haven't. Now, the reviews, I don't know if you saw them, but, I did one on the excellent Darius Gaiden. Have you played that?
Oh yeah.
That's a fantastic shmup.
Yeah, it is. Every time I think of Darius, though, I think of two things. I think of a wide, 3-monitor panel, and I think of a giant fish.
Oh.
Because the giant fish is it's like the mascot of Darius. You always have that giant fish fight. And, back in the day, back when there were arcades, Darius, just like Ninja Warrior, what made those games so unique is they had the widescreen monitors. Everything was widescreen, which everything back then was standard 4x3.
Was Darius Taito?
Yes.
Okay, Darius Taito, and then they did Ninja Warriors.
Yep. And of course, when I think of 4x3, I can't help but think about the Snyder CUT.
Oh shit! So yeah. Those are I did one I have working on, and I hopefully will release it within the next couple weeks. That I've kind of struggled is Serial Murders Protopia. Okay,
well, I've never heard of that. Can you explain that a little bit?
It is a 1983. I guess adventure game for the Famicom. I played an English translation.
Mm-hmm.
It is considered very important for visual novels, and it jumpstarted the career of one very famous video game developer who developed it, and it influenced games such as Snatcher and all kinds of such. But who is this developer?
I have no idea.
It's Yuji Horii.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his first game. Fucking nice. Yuji Horii. Yeah, and he made, it's, what's good about it, well, I'll explain in the review.
Yeah, you don't want to give it out too much. You want to
Yeah.
You want to sprinkle breadcrumbs, not lay the whole loaf in the middle of the walkway.
But lately on the gaming front for me, it's been Pac-Man 99, which I know you've been playing. That was a shock.
That game is freaking crack, and it couldn't have came at a better time because after March, they pulled the plug on Mario 35, which I really loved Mario 35. That was a lot of fun. And I think out of all the Mario celebrations and then pulling the plug on the downloads and all that stuff, I think that's what hit me the most was the fact we could never play Mario 35 again. I don't know why Nintendo did that. If anything, I feel like instead of pulling the plug, they should have added more, instead of just Super Mario Brothers, they should have added, Mario 3 levels. They should add Super Mario World. I mean, there could have been so much more potential, and maybe they'll bring it back. You never know with Nintendo, but they really dropped the ball on that one. Like it's rolling down the road. It's just,
and the Mario 3D All-Stars.
Yeah, which Mario 3D All-Stars, I think that was kind of shitty too. But in the same token, like they were like, "Oh, you won't be able to get this game." Dude, there are so many copies of that game out. Like I went to Walmart the other day. I want to say like 2 or 3 days ago, I went to Walmart and I went to the electronics section, and yeah, they had the Game & Watch. These things here, this was something, if you guys are watching this, the Super Mario Game & Watch, this was supposed to be discontinued. They had 3 more of these left in Walmart, and they had a full stack of Mario 3D All-Stars. So I don't think those games are going to be as hard to come by as, say, like the SNES or NES Mini per se. But I mean, it does suck that, once they're gone, you'll have to rely on used. And I know that Game & Watch, after a while, years from now, that will probably go up because once those are sold out, you'll only be able to buy it used. So, yeah, I mean, just think, Anthony, last time we did an episode, I was telling you before we recorded the show, last time we did an episode was before the COVID vaccine. It was before we had the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S, or Xbox Series X, which I still don't have a new generation console right now.
Me neither.
I don't think most people don't. I mean, they're still very, very hard to come by. You're more lucky to find a PS5 controller than a PlayStation 5 console right now. It's ridiculous.
Let me say one thing about that. There's just no reason for me to get a PS5. Like, look at Resident Evil 8. They were hyping up for PS5, but it's coming on PS4.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just going to be a PS5 exclusive.
No.
Huh. Well, that makes me even happier because I actually, I got an email from Capcom's PR when they were talking about the Resident Evil 8 demo. They sent me a link and they were like, "Oh, we got this demo. You can play it." And they gave me all the resources to make a video. And I'm like, I don't have a PS5 though, so I can't play this. I might have to go back though, because I have a PS4, so I might have to go back and check that out because that's really, I mean, like the PlayStation 5. I mean, the Final Fantasy 16. I can't wait to play that, but that's later on, and by the time that game comes out, PS5 should be pretty available by then.
Yeah,
I would at least hope so.
I don't think we'll see Final Fantasy 16 at the earliest until next year. I don't think we'll see it this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree with that, but
no, I agree. I mean, the thing is things are so crazy, and not to get too much into like the world side of the world, not to get too much into that. But I mean, we are so lucky that we even have video games right now, because the developers, even now, even though things are starting to slowly get sort of normal, there's just so many setbacks. And that's why, like right now, if they delay something, I'm like, okay, all right. I mean, we got E3 around the corner. There's going to be tons of stuff announced for that. I'm pretty sure we're going to hear more about Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Maybe something for the 35th anniversary of Zelda. We'll hear something about that. I know Skyward Sword's coming out in the next 2 months now. It's hard to believe it's going to be June before you know it. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much been that in gaming, the gaming world. So and with that being said, I mean, since the last time we did the show, I mean, we've had some insane nerd culture television shows. I mean, we had season 2 of Mandalorian. Have you watched Mandalorian yet?
Nope. Just first episode. I need to though.
Yes, the Mandalorian cemented my faith back into Star Wars. Like,
yeah, maybe I need to watch it.
I mean, I'm telling you, that will make you, especially the last episode of season 2, will give you feels. Like, it is so freaking good. And of course, Marvel as well with WandaVision, which I did watch WandaVision, and you know, I know we're not big into Marvel, But WandaVision was pretty good because it was so different. It was a very different kind of show. And Winter Soldier's out right now. They're on episode 5, and I haven't really watched that. I've been seeing my friends gush about it online, and it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. It looks like it's your, action-packed Marvel, where WandaVision was just a little bit different. Mm-hmm. So we got that, and of course we had the launch of HBO Max, which goes into our meat and potatoes of this episode, and that is the long-awaited, the mysterious, the cut that we didn't think actually existed, but we wanted so bad, and that was Justice League, the Snyder Cut. 4 hours.
Fuck Josh Whedon.
Well, you know what's fun? You know what's funny is, this girl I'm talking to, my new girlfriend. She's a huge DC fan. She is team DC all the way. Like, me and her were talking about comics and stuff, and I asked her, I was like, hey, are you, just out of curiosity, are you Marvel or DC? She's like, DC all the way. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I like this, Yep. And she liked Josh Whedon's Justice League. Like, she didn't think it was a bad movie, but then she saw Zack Snyder's cut, and she was just texting me, and she was like, oh my God. She's like, why didn't we have this? Like, why do we have, the Josh Whedon version when we could have had this? Like, she's like, this is so much better. And, of course she knew the backstory. Everyone knows the backstory of why Justice League changed directors, and we won't get into that. But, Zack Snyder, the thing about Zack Snyder is people either love him or hate him because he's a very polarizing director.
Right.
And the thing about it is like, I think Zack Snyder, though, gets the DC universe, because the DC universe is very different than the Marvel universe, where Josh Whedon had that history of Marvel and turned Justice League into a Marvel movie, which it just didn't work.
Yep.
It didn't work.
My fiance hasn't seen the 4-hour cut. We just haven't been able to make the time. I've seen it, obviously. But she likes the Josh Whedon cut. But she's not super into comics. She likes just geek movies. Mm-hmm. And, and all that stuff and all that. So I gotta watch that again. I haven't watched it since the first time I watched it, so. Well,
you know what's really good, and, you hear a 4-hour movie, and you just think, holy, how can I watch this? What's great about it is Zack Snyder cut is how it's cut almost like an hour television show. It's like a 4-part series. And that's how I watched it. I watched it as a 4-part series. Because, I'll admit, when I first heard it was 4 hours, I'm like, wow, that's going to be freaking awesome. And then I sat there and I was just like, oh my, this is a long movie. This is very long. I enjoyed it, but I was like, I got to cut it up a little bit. So I did that. And the thing about this cut is the cinematography is totally different. The soundtrack's different. The added content they put in there. The things that, I didn't really care for in the original cut that they kind of did better in this version. Like the Wonder Woman introduction in the Zack Snyder cut, miles better than the Josh Whedon version.
Yep.
Steppenwolf, miles better in the Zack Snyder version.
No forced smiling.
Yeah. No, none of that. And, of course, Darkseid as well. Steppenwolf had actual depth in the Zack Snyder version, and that was something that I really loved about this cut is Steppenwolf wasn't just a mean old bad guy that came from another dimension trying to destroy the world, like when he was talking to that minion, I forget his name, of Darkseid. Yeah, he was talking to him, and he was like, wanting to know when he would be free, and he pretty much got slapped with reality, being like, yeah, you have a long time. Like, you see the pain in his eyes, and I was just like, oh man, this is good. This is good stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. This is the movie we should have gotten. I would have gone to a theater and saw this for 4 hours. Fuck the Whedon cut,
Yeah.
Because you watch that Whedon cut and it makes no sense. It's
yeah.
it's literally kind of like a dumb movie. And then you watch this, and it makes total sense.
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense because it goes back to that style that we saw with Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman. Mm-hmm. It feels like a continuation of that world, where the Joss Whedon version, it didn't feel that way. I would even say Cyborg in the Zack Snyder version, like, he actually has depth. You see the relationship between him and his father. Flash has that comedic, I mean, he still has that comedic feel, but it doesn't feel like it did in the Joss Whedon version. He's not falling on top of Wonder Woman and be like, oh, I'm sorry.
You know what? We didn't watch too many animes.
Yeah.
You know, how hold on. Isn't that one of the more bizarre fucking anime tropes?
Yeah.
You know what game series I love? I gotta say this. I love Trails of Cold Steel. You know that.
Yeah.
Okay. But the first game has that trope in it. And it's just like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just that weird, like, almost like juvenile, frustrated sexual tension comedy. I mean, even with anime, I can't get into it. Like, I'm just like, like, even when I'm like showing people anime and like something like that happens, I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Cause it happens. But yeah, I mean, it was so good. It was a lot of fun. And, I'm glad that I got to watch it on HBO Max. I watched it on my television. I didn't have to go to the theater and stuff like that. I'm really wondering if we're going to get, I know we're probably going to get a Blu-ray of it. I'll probably end up getting it on Blu-ray as well.
Do you think, now that the Snyder Cut movement is over, now there's the, Revive Snyder's Vision movement?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Justice League was a fucking success.
Yeah, it was.
Cut. I mean, it was trending for like 3 weeks, and I mean, it's still being talked about. And that, you know what? That's the thing about the Zack Snyder movies is how many people about a year ago were talking about Civil War, but not BVS, whether you hated it or love it.
Yeah.
Think about that. Because people talk about the Snyder movies, but the Marvel movies, you don't go around talking about fucking Iron Man 3 and its intricacies or, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like, and the thing is too, is like, there's so much more that, Zack Snyder can do, if they just let him do his thing. And I think what DC is trying to do something a little different than Marvel. And of course, that's the different universes, which makes sense because that's what DC has. DC has infinite Earths. It has different worlds and different dimensions. I mean, you can have, 2 different Batmans. I was thinking about the new Spider-Man movie that's actually coming out. That's what was going through my head because we got a new Spider-Man coming out with all the Spider-Mans, that's whole Spider-Verse. But with DC, that's a normal thing. So you can have the Batman and you can have Ben Affleck come back as Batman and do his own thing. I mean, we're seeing this with the new Flash movie where we're going to have Ben Affleck coming back as Batman and Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. So
that's good shit.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's freaking awesome. So I'm really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really, really excited to see. Warner Brothers needs to be like, okay, well, this was a success. We need to run with it because there's so much. I mean, we need a good Green Arrow movie. Yeah.
Real quick, I want to see non-movable Batman suit meet movable Batman suit. If you get what I'm saying. That'd be awesome.
Like, let me say you can turn your neck. What the fuck?
No, I can't, but I could still kick ass. Anyway, but we both kill though.
What's that?
We both kill. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, that doesn't bother me though.
No.
Yeah. But anyway, I want to just say one thing too about that Snyder Cut. If you watch the Whedon cut, it seemed like it forgot an important plot point in Batman v Superman, the Nightmare universe.
Yeah.
And then, it's when you watch that cut, it's like, what was the point of that scene akin to Justice League? But then you watch the Snyder cut and it all makes sense. Yep. And that epilogue and the Joker scene was awesome.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the Joker scene. Okay, because I'll admit, I'll admit, I just hit my microphone stand out of disbelief. I didn't think Jared Leto was a great Joker in Suicide Squad. I was very upset because I like Jared Leto as an actor, and I remember when he was first initially announced for Joker, I'm like, he's going to kill it. He's going to be a good Joker. And then I saw Suicide Squad, and I'm like, this is not a good Joker. But then he redeemed himself in this Justice League movie. He brought something a little different, which I really enjoyed that. And the fact that he said that shit about Jason Todd, send a boy to do a man's job. I'm like, oh no, he didn't. And we got to hear Batman say the F word.
Yeah, he said fuck.
he said fuck. But no, I mean that was pretty interesting. I mean, like I like the fact that I feel like the common theme of the Snyder Cut is redemption. It brought back what we should have had to begin with, and it gave actors like Jared Leto time to actually do something with their part, because I mean they said in the Suicide Squad movie that he had a lot of footage that they cut out. A lot of things that they were doing in that movie that he never got a chance to actually express, which is always unfortunate to hear when an actor says something like that.
There's supposed to be another alternate cut of that movie too, but who knows?
Yeah.
But I will say this though. That Justice League cut is fucking amazing. And what I've saw from a lot of people is there are people who don't like Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, but now they've come around to like it because that's what's amazing about that, is that that puts it all in. See, let's be honest. The Marvel continuity isn't that great as people say it is, because when you do continuity, there's no really, I don't feel there's any stakes in those Marvel movies.
Yeah.
And then when they try to do stakes in Civil War, it was just kind of silly. So the way I look at it is you have 3 films that have more stakes than any of those Marvel films.
Yeah.
I mean, they build off of everything that has happened. Everything. So.
I mean, I do like that superhero movies, at the end of the day, I like how they all kind of chain together. I do like that concept. Say what you will about Marvel or DC, whichever team you're on, even if you're on both teams, even if you're a free agent like Sting in WCW NWO days, you're just a free agent like at both. I like the fact that we have a universe that these movies all connect, because you remember back in the day you had like sequels and that was it.
Even the sequels were loosely connected. Like look at Batman Returns.
Yeah.
The only real connection is Vicky Vale's mentioned.
Yeah.
Like one time during a makeout session with him and Catwoman. That's it.
Yeah. And then like with Batman Forever, felt like a totally different universe.
But yet the same Jim Gordon and the same Alfred.
Which I do have a funny story about Jim Gordon in that era of Batman. He grew up he used to live in my town.
Really?
Yeah, like he used to actually shop at the grocery store I worked at. I never got to meet him, but I had a lot of people say that he used to go in there all the time and grocery shop, and he was like, they said he was freaking hilarious. He used to live over at Carolina Beach. I'm like, wow. Nice. I would have loved to meet him. I mean, because he was, for the longest time, he was like my version of Commissioner Gordon, and he was also in a lot of great Western movies back in the day, too.
I would say he wasn't mine just for one reason, until Batman the Animated Series version.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But that voice, every time I read a Batman comic and I read Jim Gordon, I read that voice from that series.
Yeah, and the same thing with me when I read comics, I hear Mark Hamill as Joker and Kevin McCoy, Conroy as Batman.
Yeah, same here. Those were the voices.
Which, speaking of animated DC news, did you see that they had put out the trailer for The Long Halloween?
Not yet. That's my favorite Batman story too. I need to watch that.
I love that. I love that comic. Actually, my girlfriend, she's big into Supernatural. Like she loves Supernatural.
So is mine.
She loves Supernatural. And you know the guy, I can't remember his name, and your fiance and my girlfriend are probably like both be like, his name's blah blah blah. I can't remember his name, but he did the voice of Jason Todd in the Red Hood.
Oh, Dean.
Yeah.
Because we've been watching Supernatural actually over the past year. It's been slower than our podcast. We watched it in March and we're barely finished with season 3.
Well, and the thing is,
not season 3. We're barely finished with season 2. Oh, okay.
But yeah, he did the voice of Jason Todd, and he does the voice of Batman in A Long Halloween. And let me tell you, this guy, he's a phenomenal voice actor. He does a great Batman, and he's done cosplay as the Red Hood, which looks phenomenal. I'm like, I don't watch Supernatural, but I like this guy. This guy gets the cool points in my book. Like
Supernatural's not bad, man. But here's the problem I've always had with it. It's too long.
And that's how I feel about certain things like animes, video games. I mean, anything that has like a long span of history, I admit I get very intimidated and I end up not checking it out. The series, and it's a short series because I never finished it, that I'm going to be watching with my girlfriend soon is Firefly. She's big into Firefly. She loves Firefly. And we're going to be watching.
Coincidentally, Josh Whedon.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to be checking that out because, I've always heard it was good. I just never watched it. And it's just one of those things that I want to check it out so I can understand all the inside jokes. So, but okay, so moving from the DC, let's talk about some another movie that we were really excited about. Nas Godzilla Vs Kong, another HBO Max exclusive. And wow.
That one I didn't watch at home.
Oh, you saw that one in theaters?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
It was amazing.
I could only imagine, because I watched it at home with my girlfriend, and we were both just like blown away. Because here's the thing, okay? When it comes to the 3 Godzilla movies, the first Godzilla movie, I know some people like it, some people don't. I liked it. It wasn't a perfect Godzilla movie. It had a lot more human interaction and less monsters. But I like the human interaction. I like the Mutos. And then King of Monsters came out, and it was like they took all the constructive criticism from the last Godzilla movie, and we had much more monster interaction, and it was more action-packed. And I feel like with Godzilla vs. Kong, we got the best of both worlds.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it felt like how balanced the Toei films were. Some of them are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, particularly, I know when you go into Godzilla history, they're divided up in eras based off of the historical era, based off of the Imperial or whatever era they're made out of. So I'm a big fan of the second era. So that starts with the 1985 Godzilla all the way to Godzilla vs. Destroyer.
Yeah.
And those have a lot of good human interactions in them because it does have a continuity. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. And
I feel that captured the tone of that second era of Godzilla movies. Because this ain't no Godzilla Final Wars for sure.
No, I knew that Mechagodzilla was going to be in the movie. Mm-hmm. Just because the toy leaked out. I saw the toy leaks, and I knew he was going to be in it. So, you know what I originally thought was going to happen in Godzilla versus King Kong? Is I thought originally that they were going to pull something like we saw before with Mechagodzilla, because you notice, like, Godzilla in the beginning of this movie, he's just an asshole. Like, he is not the Godzilla that we knew from the previous 2 movies, which was more of a guardian of the earth. Here's the thing about Godzilla, and this is what I like about him. He is the guardian of earth, but he's also an animal. He also has his own needs. He has his own thing. He is a predator. Like, he went after the Mutos, not because he was trying to save the world, but because he didn't like the fucking Mutos. He went after Ghidra and Rodan and all these other monsters because he wanted to stay the king. He didn't give a shit about everyone else. He wasn't like, oh, I gotta save the world. He was like, no, man, this is my domain, and I don't want it to get fucked up. So fuck you guys. That's what I like about Godzilla, where in Godzilla versus Kong, he was just like straight up, just killing people for no reason. He had no method. So originally I thought that Godzilla that we saw in the beginning of the movie was going to be Mechagodzilla. If you remember in the original Mecha Godzilla versus Godzilla, Mechagodzilla at first was Godzilla. And when they fought and his like skin came off and all that stuff, he was Mechagodzilla. So I thought that's what they were going to do. So I remember my girlfriend was like telling me, she was just like, man, why is Godzilla being such an asshole? And I'm like, just wait for it. Cause I thought I knew what's going to happen. And I'd be like, yep, called it. But, no, it did something a little different. He was an asshole with a purpose, like Godzilla is. Just because of this company, this corporation that was just using Ghidra's head and making it into a supercomputer. I thought that was such a good concept. That was really, really cool.
Hell yeah. I liked a lot of things about the movie. I agree with you on that they didn't put in that, that Mechagodzilla was really the one causing issues or anything like that. I liked what they did better. I thought the storylines with the female scientist, her adopted daughter, and the other guy, that was interesting. I liked their interactions. I liked a lot of that stuff. What I did not like, though, there was one thing I did not like, was the subplot with the kids.
Oh, really?
I did not dig that. No, it just bugged me.
I didn't hate it. I kind of liked the fact that the guy had a conspiracy podcast.
He was the one I didn't mind, but it felt like that they just kind of
they're trying to lighten the mood.
Yeah, yeah, maybe, but like it was just odd to me. It was just kind of like, and then they snuck in so easily. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they literally just opened doors and went in. There was no security. There's nobody chasing them. Nothing like that. It was just them fucking just going through doors in this supposedly state-of-the-art security facility. Yeah. And they're just opening doors. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, that's Hollywood for you.
Yeah.
I mean.
But I've never seen it done in that way. Like, I've seen it done at least with some challenge. These are kids with nothing. One kid just blabbers jokes. The other one is a reuse from the last movie. And the other one, the black guy, he doesn't do anything. He just walked through the door. They don't even count the security force.
Yeah, he was like the maintenance guy who knew too much.
Yeah.
But no, I can see your qualms with that. I can see that. I particularly, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate that. I'm trying to think of what I didn't. I think the only thing I didn't like about the movie, was the wasted potential on the guy who was originally controlling Mechagodzilla. Because you know who he was?
No.
He was the son of the doctor from the first two movies, the Let Them Fight. That was his son.
Oh, okay.
They could have done so much more about that. I didn't find out until later on when I was on some forums and I heard people talk about his character and they called who his character was and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, damn, they could have done more because he was pretty much just a red herring. That's all he was.
And I'll say this too. One cool thing was the Ghidorah head usage with the telepathy.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how they built that up from the post-credit scene?
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah, and I liked that Mechagodzilla roar was Ghidra or Ghidorah. That was the same roar. It was like that was the thing when I knew that Mechagodzilla was going to be in the movie. I was like, I want to know what the roar sounds like. Like, that's what I wanted to know. I was like, is it going to be like a mechanical, like Godzilla roar? Is it going to be like a Transformers Michael Bay orgasm? What's it going to sound like? And it was so cool.
You know what was crazy? I was reading that this movie started filming when King of the Monsters was barely released.
That movie was announced
not soon after Godzilla 2014 or 2000. Yeah. Was it 2014 when it came out, or was it 2016? It was 14.
But here's the thing about the movie, though, too. Going back into what you just said with 2014, I remember Kong versus Godzilla was announced in 2015, and then they retrofitted Skull Island to fit into it because it originally wasn't going to be a standalone film. Remember?
Yeah.
It had nothing, and then they retrofitted it. And then, we have this MonsterVerse, and I'm hearing that they're going to continue it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm wondering what we're going to see with that. Like, I'm wondering, what we're going to see. Are we going to see, one of the things they always, kind of tease was a Pacific Rim crossover.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
And speaking of that, have you seen the trailer for the new Godzilla anime coming out on Netflix?
No. Does it look great?
It looks really good. It's very different. The humans, they actually, find a broken Jet Jaguar, and they turn that into a new mech to start fighting these monsters. It's really strange. Like, they find this torso and they turn it into a new mech. Like, it's interesting, which I don't know exactly when that's coming out, but I'll check that out. Speaking of Netflix, okay, because I think this would be a good segue. Season 4, the last season of Castlevania, comes out May 13th.
Are you okay? Real quick. Okay, real quick. Two things. Let's tie it back to Zack Snyder real quick. His new movie comes out on Netflix.
Oh yeah, Army of the Dead or Army of Darkness.
Army of the Dead, and it looks good and a different take on zombies. But let's go back to Castlevania. Castlevania was the very first episode of this podcast.
It was.
Castlevania was a very angry episode of this podcast the second time we did it.
It was.
Will we have a repeat of the 4th season?
Oh, definitely.
I mean, a repeat of the anger.
Oh, I don't know. Here's the thing, okay? Because even, my girlfriend doesn't know much about Castlevania. She knows I love Castlevania. And she was the one who actually told me about season 4 because she saw it pop up on Facebook. She was like, hey, season 4 of Castlevania is coming out on Netflix. And I'm like, cool. And I was like, have you seen the Castlevania on Netflix? She's like, no, but I'm going to go ahead and start watching it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Cause see, here's the thing. Season 1 and 2, freaking amazing. Season 1 and 2 of Castlevania, great
Top
stuff.
Notch.
Great stuff. Season 3, if you don't know the Belmont lore, if you don't know the story of Castlevania, season 3 isn't so bad. It's not so bad if you don't know about it. But if you know about it like we do, season 3 was freaking horrible. There was so, and I think, here's the thing. I feel like season 3, while by itself is not bad, I feel like it was just a bad season. And let me explain. Good shows can have bad seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Think of, The Walking Dead. Think of Game of Thrones.
Seinfeld.
Sopranos.
Even Seinfeld had the bad seasons. The first two are a little rough, and then season 9 is very mixed for me.
Yeah. So, I keep that in the back of my head, when it comes to season 4. Because this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, season 3, I wasn't a big fan of it. I'll rewatch it with my girlfriend if we get back into watching Castlevania. Because season 1's pretty much a 2-hour movie. Season 4 is not that long. Season 3 is not either. We could definitely knock it out one Sunday. But I am curious. I'm curious about what they're going to do with season 4. If they listen to the constructive criticism from the fans. And how are they going to clean up this mess that was in season 3? I think the best thing of season 3, honestly, was Isaac. Isaac was the best thing about season 3.
Mm-hmm.
I actually do love what they did with Isaac's character. Looking at the Belmont lore, looking at the Castlevania timeline and story, Isaac wasn't really that well-rounded in Curse of Darkness. He was just mostly just a bad guy. He didn't have much, story to him.
But they fleshed him out.
they fleshed him out really, really good, and then like they did a really good job with season 3. So I would love to see what they do with him. I'd love to see Hector grow some balls and actually do something instead of just being a vampire plaything. That would be great. I would like to see what Alucard's going to do. I mean, in my opinion, I think Alucard should have went in slumber in season 3 and then, like, should just stay sleeping after season 2 like he was going to do in Castlevania 3.
Yep.
So, but they said this is going to be the last season, but they're going to continue the universe, which means I think this is going to be the last season of the Trevor Belmont era. And then we're going to have a new Castlevania series, and that universe is going to be a brand new Belmont. So this is where I was thinking, because everyone wants Simon Belmont, but you know, I'm going to get your opinion on this, Anthony. As much as I want to see Simon Belmont, I don't think Simon Belmont can make a Castlevania series. You know why I say that?
Why?
Castlevania 3, that was a really good way to start a series, and it was because there were a lot of supporting characters.
Right.
Simon Belmont doesn't really have any supporting characters. They're going to have to start from scratch and make up their own characters at this point.
Because the first game is in the castle.
Mm-hmm.
And then, ironically, I've been playing Simon's Quest, which is not as bad as people make it out to be.
It's really not. If you know what you're doing, it's not a bad game.
Yeah, it's not at all. You know, some people are like, it's hard to get hearts. No, it's not. But anyway, I digress. I just have to say that. Because it's not hard to get hearts, is it?
No. You just gotta know what you're doing. That's the thing. That game was hard because it was mistranslated and it was cryptic as fuck.
Yeah.
But once you get the hang of it, it's not that bad.
No, not at all. But anyway, they could do something with Simon's Quest. I would prefer them to skip to the Richter Belmont era, though.
Richter Belmont, I was thinking, and also I was like, Richter Belmont would be good because you'd have Richter Belmont, Maria, Alucard could be brought back at that point too with Symphony of the Night if they went that direction. Also, I mean, they could do Bloodlines.
Yeah.
You know, they could do Bloodlines or they could do Portrait of Ruin.
Fuck yeah.
And I would love to see a Portrait of Ruin series.
That is one of the best games in the series, in my opinion. That's just me, though.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, what would be really cool about the Portrait of Ruin is because that was like, you know, the Belmont Redemption. That's when, you know, Jonathan Morris got the vampire whip back and all that stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot they could do with that. So I was thinking about it. I was like taking out trash of all things. Taking out the garbage, thinking about Castlevania. And I was just like, I don't think Simon Belmont would work. I was thinking about, I'm like, man, they'd have to make a whole bunch of new characters, and that's always a very, very scary thing when a movie studio has full creative control to make characters for a video game based show. That could be good or very, very bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, like, I am looking forward to Castlevania Season 4, regardless of what I thought about Season 3.
Well, that'll be an episode coming, because I know you and I, after this week, we're going to start making these on the 2-week basis again. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be working everything out to start doing Blast Podcasting, Excess Gaming, my other podcast as well. Just starting a new job, just starting all the new things in life. I just had to adjust, but finally got stretched out and everything. So everything seems to be going pretty good. But yeah, I mean, wow, what else could we? So we're almost at that hour mark. What else could we bring up that we've been missing out on the past 7 months?
God, so much. Animal Crossing. I got into Animal Crossing.
And it's funny because I haven't played Animal Crossing in so long. Gosh, I haven't even went back and started playing. I haven't even went back to play for the Mario stuff. I saw that you posted where you got the Mario items. How do you get the Mario items, by the way?
Oh, go ahead. You just buy them off the Nook Shopping. They're still there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to go check that out.
But you can only buy 5 things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I made a little Mario world in the top of my cliff. I dig the game, but I play it like once a day for a little bit to see what's going on.
That's the best way to do it. the best way to do it is like just play enough that you get certain events done, you get certain like the Nook Mile quests, get that stuff done, then turn it off and go back to it the next day. That's the best way to play Animal Crossing. I honestly just haven't picked it up. I mean, I picked it up actually about 2 weeks ago. It was like actually Easter. I played on Easter and I was showing my girlfriend because she doesn't play a whole lot of video games. So I've been kind of introducing her to that world. She knows video games, but she hasn't really played video games. Her brother is a huge gamer. So I was like, we played a little bit of Mario Kart, and it was freaking hilarious playing Mario Kart with her because she's not competitive whatsoever.
Oh shit! So
we're we're racing on Cheap Beach, and she starts going like in the water, and she's like, "Oh, this is so cool! Look at the fish! Look at the crab!" And I'm like, "Come on, we gotta race each other."
You're in 12th place.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay. I was like, I want to show you Animal Crossing. I think that'd be fun to show you. So I was showing that to her, and she thought it was pretty cool. But
well, that's cool. She digs it then.
Yeah. I mean, like the thing is, she's so busy. She's got so much going on that, I mean, it's one of those things like, you know, like all of us, it's a privilege to be able just to sit back and play a video game every once in a while.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's something we really take for granted back from our youth. Anyone that's listening to this episode that's under the age of 18, enjoy playing fucking video games.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy video games, enjoy comics, enjoy watching these movies, enjoy those weekends of doing nothing but enjoying those things, because when you get older, you won't be able to do it as much. You'll have money to go out there and buy all the video games you want. I mean, I could buy a PlayStation 5 right now if I wanted to. Could I play it? Nope.
Exactly. Oh, on my end real quick though, we have 4 switches in my house, 3 lights, and then mine.
Yeah.
But they're for my fiance, my son, and my sister. So my fiance has been a gamer, but she's mostly just played World of Warcraft. So I've introduced her to all kinds of stuff that she's been playing. So of course, Animal Crossing is her big thing.
Oh yeah,
she's already clocked in 200 hours, and then
that's awesome.
And then you know what I got her into is the Ys series, Ys Origin.
Oh yeah,
she's playing Ys Origin on Switch.
Ys Origin is cheap as hell on the Switch right now.
Mm-hmm.
I almost bought it. I mean, I have it on the PlayStation 4, and I almost bought it on the Switch just because it was so cheap. It was like $6.
Yeah,
I'm like $6. It's cheap. It's like a pack of cigarettes.
I have it on there. You know what's weird is I have most of the Ys games on my PC. This is the weird thing about my Ys collection. Then I have Ys 9 and Memories of Celceta on the PS4. And then I have Ys Origin and I have Ys 8 on Switch. And then I have Ys books 1 and 2. The third one, I forgot the name of it. And then Ys 6 and Ys 7 on PC. So it's weird.
Yeah, PC is the way to go if you want to get your Ys on. PC's because you get it all on PC. I haven't played Ys 9 yet. I'm waiting for that to go on the Switch. It should be going on the Switch soon. I believe it was this summer it was supposed to be announced.
Yeah.
I gotta go hit up NIS so I can get see if I can get my review copy. So I remember I got a review copy of Ys 8, which I loved 8. I thought 8 was really good. I hear 9 isn't as good as 8, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I haven't played much of 9, but I played a little bit, but it's real good.
I mean, it's Ys. I mean,
yeah, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I would almost say I like Ys more than I do the Zelda series. But that's a hot take right there.
Yeah, I like both for different reasons. They both do different things. So,
yeah, definitely. Well, I think this is going to conclude an episode of Blast Podcasting. I do want to thank you guys for checking us out, and hopefully this video feed will work out. If it does, then we'll start doing our future episodes like this, because I think that's a really cool, interactive, and once in a while we might even throw in some live episodes as well. I think that would be a lot of fun. And if you guys are wanting to check out more previous episodes, you can look at the playlist on the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Xander Skullion. Or You can check us out on Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and iTunes, which I'm going to be updating that very, very soon. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you for listening. And as always, happy gaming.